Hi, this is Matt Bradley-Tschirgi, and we're taking a look at the Return of Monkey Island screenshots from the recent AdventureGamers.com interview with Ron Gilbert and Dave Grossman. And I'll be comparing kind of older screenshots to what the newer screenshots look like and doing some analysis of those. There's been, let's say, mixed reactions online to what you see with the new Monkey Island game with the art style. But I appreciate it, something different, but it's also reminiscent of the first games. It's just not a literal pixel version like some people might have wanted. So what we see right here, we're going to start with the old and go to the new and do that through all, it's like 4 or 5 screenshots here. This is the original title screen, Secret of Monkey Island. And despite the fact it says Monkey Island, this is Melee Island, and we can see the town here. We can see the trail going up here, and way up here at the very top above the logo is where the opening cutscene starts, where you're like, I'm Guy Burstreet, but I want to be a mighty pirate. And you're talking to the old man. I can't wait to stream these games later, by the way. I think that'll be really cool. So, I mean, this is what you got all right here, right? And then let's look at what looks to be the title screen for Return to Monkey Island. Old, new. Ah, okay, so what do we have here, right? This is very reminiscent of the same thing. It's also a different style. We have a lot more focus. Look at the colors. This is like blues, right? Cooler colors with the kind of purple, magenta-ish looking stuff. In here, the letters are, it's blue going into purple. So a bit warmer in there with purple being a mixture of blue and red, sort of. I probably got that wrong, but who cares? I'm not in a color theory class anymore. God, that's been quite some time. Anyhow, but we see this is clearly Melee Island. We can see other islands in the background. The actual Melee Island is not that big. We see there's a pirate ship, looks like a ghost pirate ship from the little wafts over here. If we look at the original, there's no pirate ship down here in the similar location. But it's a similar feeling, right? It's not doing for a one-for-one comparison. We see the twinkling lights of the city down below. The scum bar, I'm sure, is going to be in this game, even though they haven't shown screenshots from it as far as I know. And you can see the ocean. I love the craggy look of the cliffs. Like it's clearly a throwback look. I don't want to say back to basics, but in a way it sort of is. This is the first game with 2D graphics since Cursed Monkey Island, the third game, and this being the sixth. Return to Monkey Island, and it looks like it's going to jump around on the timeline. It'll be really interesting to talk about this game after playing through the old ones before this comes out. We still don't have a release date for it, but it's sometime in 2022. Okay, next shot. This is from the original game. This is in Melee Island, pretty early on. Some of these I captured from a YouTube video. I really should. I'll have better like screen captures when I capture this myself locally on my machine, but that's neither here nor there. This is Melee Island. This is we see some locations here like the jail. We see the church, which comes into play later in the game towards the end. This alleyway even has some interesting utility later on in I think it's either the second game or near the end of the first. There's stuff where you come back in this alleyway and it was blocked off in the later in the game or something like that. And this is a little guy that's sort of following you. It's something where you got to trail a pirate or the sword master or something like that. It's been a little while, but anyhow, this is a street scene. You see these warm lights. You see this beautiful stained glass. This is from the VGA version. When the original Secret of Monkey Island came out, you had it in. You could even do CGA, which looks fucking awful. But you have CGA, EGA, VGA, right? And so this, but mainly it was designed to be an EGA, and the VGA stuff is kind of minor differences, to be perfectly honest. And when it's trying to do this wide scale, like, whoops, fingers are all over the place. That's fantastic. That's what she said. Okay, anyway, you look around and see all these things. You see lower, everything looks really tiny. You look like ants moving around with, I don't know, is that like 20 pixels high, something like that? And this is a 320 by 200 resolution, or 320 by 240, something like that. You have kind of the widescreen thing going on because with less real estate, with the graphics on the screen, you can have more stuff and not have it slow down the game as much. And this is cropped because below that you would see the icons that take up almost, I don't know, like a quarter to a third of the screen that say pick up, use this with this, right? Have the inventory, all that crap. But anyway, I'm trying to say this is what this part of it looks like in the original game and in the new game, Melee Island. Oh, right? So not exactly the same, but similar. You have these cool blues and purples. I like this stuff with you see the birds here. That's pretty cool. This is new. This building with the key on it, right? You didn't see that here before, but also time has passed is what we see here with you can call this sort of like nonverbal storytelling, visual storytelling, right? You see these windows are all boarded up, have holes in them, have glasses. People are trying to maybe break in there and steal stuff, perhaps. Although maybe you can get in there. You see the door, but it could be locked. This isn't an adventure game, a genre known for doors. Here we see it looks like an Illuminati symbol, which is interesting. And you see some people in here with shadows. You see an old woman's head poking out. That's kind of a fun thing. You see this is blocked off by dead fish and trash. And I think it gets blocked off later in the game when you come back to Melee Island at the very end of the original Monkey Island. I'm going off of, I haven't played that game all the way through in 20-something years, so it'll be fun to play through. Also, we see a lot more of these kind of Illuminati sort of symbols or maybe they're pirate game signs. I don't know really what the plot of Return to Monkey Island is going to be, but presumably it involves returning to Monkey Island, hence the title. But we look here, and here we see, it's going for a same kind of mood. This seems like it's later at night with the dark of the darker color of the tiles of the roofs and just kind of the darker overall tone. This stuff is lightened up a bit. Interesting, we have this kind of like a kind of logo here. This almost looks like a crown, and I wonder what this could be. Something of royalty, perhaps, or it's a two-story thing, could be a hotel. And if we go back to the original, this thing over here, I believe, is it where you visit the old man that's selling like you can buy like swords or inventory or chickens or whatever off of him, right? The chicken on the pulley. And this here looks like it could still be a store, but we also have people living up here because maybe rent has gone up on Return to Monkey Island and people are having to live wherever they can. Who knows? On to the next screenshot. We're halfway through. So this is from not Monkey Island 1, but Monkey Island 2, but I just want to do this for comparison because this isn't a one-to-one. These last two shots are not one-to-one comparisons of locations in the first game, but it's kind of reminiscent of what they're going for. I picked only 4 out of the 5 screenshots to look at because one of them I just couldn't find a really good point of comparison for. And this video is all about comparing and contrasting. So we see this character, I believe his name is Wally from Monkey Island 2. He has an eyeglass. He's a supporting character in the game. And he has maps, and he's trying to find Big Whoop, which is the big thing here. The big, kind of thing you're looking for as Guybrush. Guybrush looks older. The artwork really was quite lovely in Secret of Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge, especially these backgrounds by Steve Purcell, I think, did a lot of the backgrounds and did them in Sharpie, and then they'd have to go back and take the Sharpie stuff out, although you can see that in some of the outlines. This detail here of the ceiling, right? You see the stars, the moon, all that stuff coming through the moonlight. It just gives it a real nice, mood, ambiance, what you will. Monkey Island, the new stuff, right? This is from the new game, Return to Monkey Island. The reason why I'm comparing it to this is you have a character that seems to be a bit of a tinkerer. In this case, this guy looks like a keymaster, right? He has all these different keyblades here, shades of the Matrix, Reloaded with the keymaster guy, or you could even say Kingdom Hearts with all the different keys in there. But he has these magnifying things, which made me think of old Wally with the monocle. And he has a parrot in what's a pirate game, or a pirate-themed game, rather, without parrots. There's a book here, although you can't really read what it says. All these kind of keyholes, 2 keyholes on the door. This looks like the machine he's using to make the keys, I would guess. And this is a picture of perhaps his family or relatives or friends. And here we get some pirate thing with something in some other language. I wonder if that's going to be a thing in Return to Monkey Island. Is there going to be like a different language you have to translate somehow in the game? I wonder. And this use of the foreground is nice here too, with these keys in the foreground. And this big key, wow, look at that, above the door. I mean, you get some nice depth there. So again, a lot of blues, a lot of overall lighter color palette. The mist, which is darker overall with how the things look. And let's go on the last screenshot of this comparison video. This is Monkey Island beneath the surface, where you go and you try to find LeChuck, and you have the voodoo head, and you're walking around. And yeah, so even though, the first game is Secret to Monkey Island, not that much of the game takes place in Monkey Island. And this kind of the depths of Monkey Island inside this big monkey head that you go into has this kind of hellish Dante's Inferno sort of imagery. I love you have these eyeball things that look like they follow you around. This is from the first game, Secret of Monkey Island. You have these mushrooms in the foreground, these kind of zombie hands sticking up like this, right? It gives it a nice sense of depth, and you're trying to go through this little bit of a maze, which mazes were, more of a common thing in games when this first one came out, and they kind of took out this sort of an RPG element in later games in the series. You might have little mazes here and there, but here it's like, oh, you got to see where the head is pointing to, and that's where you should go to prevent going in circles. This stuff with the lava waterfall, you kind of see some of this imagery repeated, although to a less over-the-top cartoony extent in Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis when you get to Atlantis near the end of the game. Anyhow, so we have this, and then we see some imagery which looks like to be in a subterranean Monkey Island part in the new game, Return to Monkey Island. We see the mushrooms again, right? But this time they're dark blue. Here they're kind of lighter blue. Or almost gray looking, I would say, even. Might just depend on how my monitor is set up. And here we have a big monkey statue. If you see a statue in an adventure game, and little mushrooms here, that's a good point. If you see a statue in an adventure game, it's probably going to be used in a puzzle. You probably have to put something in the hand, or move the statue, or destroy the statue, or see what's kind of behind it. Here we see this little crack in the wall. Maybe something's hiding behind there if you figure out how to push this guy. You see this kind of lava flow stuff that's kind of similar, and you see these delineated doors. And once again, we see markings. Here, these could be a clue to a puzzle, or perhaps just random, the equivalent of a visual flavor text, if you will. We see it's snails. This looks like a troglodyte sort of thing. This looks like a seashell, what have you. And this, I think, looks scarier. I would say this looks darker. And I've said that word a lot here, but it's a lot of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom vibes, which is a fairly recent movie when Secret of Monkey Island came out in 1990, I believe. Temple of Doom was, 84, 85, so yeah, pretty recent as far as pop culture goes back then. This, I like the depth here. You look through this door and you see there's a light in the background. It draws your eye there. These lava things are all pointing here to get your eye towards this monkey dude statue thing. Maybe it's a real monkey that's frozen and you got to fight it. Monkey combat, anyone from Escape from Monkey Island? Maybe they'll bring that chestnut back. Probably not, but you never know. So yeah, that's kind of my analysis of these screenshots for Return to Monkey Island. Can't wait. It comes out in 2022. What do you think of these screenshots? Did I miss anything? Be sure to comment below. Be sure to follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv, MATWBT, and on YouTube at youtube.com/sequelcast. This is Matt Bradley-Tschirgi. Hope you like this video, and I will catch you later. Happy monkey time.